Hey, welcome back.
Cute.
I didn't really look at settings again really quick before. I think everything's fine. Okay, Julia, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad that you're back. Can I just tell you, your social media is just such like this soft little sweet place of in the internet. Like every time one of your videos pops up, I'm like, Julia makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. That
Yeah, no,
means
you're
that
so
means a
sweet.
lot.
Seriously. You're just such a calming force out there. I love that. First of all, how did you get over yourself to post the content that you do? Because I don't have a single problem posting clips of me having a conversation. I hate the other stuff. I hate it so much.
Um, I can't say I enjoy it. It's still a work in progress.
Okay.
I guess it's kind of down to looking at that if I speak up, if I show up, then it can help someone. And if I've got something that can help somebody else, then I kind of owe it to them to show up and do it. That's not to say it's not uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
whoever
So
grew
you
from their
are still
comfort zone.
struggling with discomfort but you do it anyway.
It's the only way to grow, isn't it? I mean, the
Yes.
first time I ever did my podcast, I was shaking so badly. I
Oh.
was so scared. And it's only through showing up and doing it again and again and again and again that it's become totally fine. So everything is all about how often you show up for yourself.
Mm, I feel called out. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, but let me say this, because this has been the thing that I've been struggling with when I'm doing solo episodes, is fighting this inner critic that says, like, people aren't interested in that from me. And I don't believe that really, but it's like a constant battle when I'm recording to tell myself like, shh. I don't know why that particular thing. And I think it's just that's where my insecurity really is. Me coming up. I'm not a great creator. I mean, I'm just not like deciding what to talk about and talking about it in a succinct manner. That's not really the best. I say that, but I can do presentations fine. But I guess I just feel different doing a solo episode or creating content just for the sake of creating content, you know?
But
I really battle that.
you're not creating it just for the sake of creating it, are you? You're creating it because somebody out there needs to see it or hear it.
Yeah.
And there might be people that say, what you're saying isn't relevant, I don't want to hear it, and they are free to not listen. But also, there will be people who are saying, I really needed to hear that today. And
That's
even
so
if that's
true.
just one person, then you've acted in service of others.
That's true. That's true. That is definitely not the mindset I have had about this. You are very right. So then how do you honestly not care if your video doesn't get very many views or good feedback?
Because it's not about the amount of views. I've had some videos get tens of thousands of views. I've had some videos get like 10 views. And in the tens of thousands of views, who watched it to the end? Probably very few of them. But in the 10 views, if one person heard something that they needed to hear that day, then it was worth doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, way better mindset. I can see where I'm getting in my own way around this because I do feel a deep call to service for others. I mean, deeply, like always. And I just get so embarrassed about the whole thing whenever I create content in a certain manner. Podcast stuff, I can do. Even the solo stuff, I just move my laptop screen down so that I'm not, like, overthinking what I look like or anything, and just talk to my camera and go. Like, I sometimes I will fight that inner voice, but it's not anything like whenever I go to create a video of me talking to my phone, because that's the only I mean, the only other way I could do it is just create the same way I'm creating the podcast stuff, like, on here, and post, which I could do that, but I'm kinda trying to figure out, like, am I making it too difficult for myself on purpose? Is there a way I should be doing, you know? How
All
are
you
you
have to
doing it?
be is your authentic self and just speak from the heart. Whatever's happening for you in that time, on that day, like, I tend to record, videos when I'm walking because I don't know, I just find that easier, and at the moment, I think the most likely video that I'll record is that it's so hot here in England at the moment. We don't have all these, like, things like air conditioning and pleasant things like that. We just melt.
Oh.
And bodies feel different in the heat. Bodies feel bigger, they feel more uncomfortable, and appetite is less in the heat. So I'm probably gonna create a video because I'm finding that hard at the moment. So I'll create a video to say that, sorry,
That's okay.
that nourishing myself, I don't actually feel like doing that at the moment. So I'm doing it as an act of self-care, not because I want to eat, because it's hot
Mm.
and I've got no appetite. And it's hard to do things when it's really hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so just speaking from the heart about what's going on for you at that time, or a memory that's come up of a time that you found really hard in the past, but now it's got a little bit easier. And to be like, I'm so grateful that now this is easier because the past me found it really, really hard to move through this.
Yeah.
And so it's just being, people tune into you for you. They don't tune into you because they want to see professionally produced videos and content. They tune into you because they like you, they resonate with you, and they want to see the authentic you. And if that's not perfect, well, that shows your humanity and makes them feel a little better about not being perfect themselves.
Yeah, I guess there's just this voice that says they don't wanna see a certain part of me, which I couldn't necessarily identify which part, but that's what it feels like every time I go to make that type of content, I feel, like, stifled and suffocated by myself.
Yeah, the only way through it is to go through it.
Ugh, I'm gonna have to do it. No, you're right, you're right, you're right. That it's just I every time I watch your videos, I'm like, I know I could do it. I just it's so hard for me, but I know that's like an area I'm really blocking myself. So,
Do you know,
and
when
I'm
I
really
record
wanting to
my
discover why I believe this because I can sit here and say, I believe my voice carries magic. I believe that. I believe that when I speak, people listen. But then I go grab my phone to do something and I'm scared and believing that nobody wants it. It's a ridiculous conundrum.
it's just the inner critic, isn't it? Trying to protect you,
Yes.
trying to keep you safe, trying to
Mhm.
stop you from a perceived rejection. But the only way you'll know that you're not going to get rejected is to do it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna make
And when I
myself do it.
record my most of my videos, as I said, I normally do it on my morning dog walk. I am literally, I get out of bed in the morning, I throw on the same clothes every morning because they're going to be just for walking the dog. So I'm unshowered, wearing the same stuff just about every day. Normally my hair is like messy or scraped back, and it's just me. That's it.
You just do it anyway, huh?
Yeah. And absolutely, did I have that voice? Yes. That voice that said, nobody wants to see, you should make sure you have had your shower and got some nice clothes on and done your hair nicely and worn makeup. I never even wear makeup.
Yeah, and yet you're like, "I should probably wear makeup for this."
Yeah, and
Yeah,
no,
which would be absolutely a barrier to getting it done.
absolutely.
Yes.
We can
Yeah, I can
delay
see
and
where I'm
delay and
creating the
delay.
barriers for myself to feel safer. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, we just have to get out of our own way.
Yes, okay, I will eventually. I'm glad we had this
I'm
talk.
gonna look at your Instagram tomorrow and see if you've done one.
Oh my god! Called out! Called out! Feel free to message me and harass me about it.
For sure.
I need some accountability. Okay, you know, what you were saying is really interesting about the heat. Um, I live in a particularly hot place, although we do have air conditioning, so woof, I cannot imagine it not being the case that we don't no air conditioning? Like, no. But it does change the way you feel
It
from the
does.
time you wake up until the time you go to sleep. So this is an interesting thought because I don't think about stuff like that. What are you doing to like, are you just kind of switching up? Like, are you eating more fruit right now? Or like, how are you dealing with the loss of appetite related to the heat?
Um, I am wanting fresher food for sure. So I am wanting more like fruit and like salady stuff and things like that. But because of my history of anorexia and because I know that my body also needs carbohydrates and fats and proteins, I will include those as well. So I might enjoy a really nice fresh salad and I might have some bread with it and some like avocado and some chicken and stuff like that to make sure that I'm ticking all the boxes that I know my body needs. So I'm having what I want and self-care.
Yeah. How are you dealing with that physically? Are you seeing any like is it just the reduction of appetite up until you eat, and then you eat and you're okay? Is that what you're experiencing right now? Like, your brain tells you, "I don't want food," but it's not rejecting the food when you eat it.
No, it's not rejecting the food when I
Okay,
eat it.
good.
I'm not enjoying eating at the moment. And that's okay. That's just how things are at the moment. It will pass. Previously, I would definitely have used that as an excuse not to eat. In fact, I'd have felt really good about it.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
But
Yes, the things we will do. That was something that I really thought of after losing my son was for about 3 days, I couldn't eat, and, I mean, I kept trying. I was trying, but I could only tolerate a couple of bites of, like, potato products, fries, chips, hash browns. But I remember thinking, "Ooh, I know there was a time I would have leaned into this and been like, 'Yes, I'm not hungry,' and I know I could have taken that as far as I could still be not eating 6 months later if I had not made a very conscious choice then to eat. I was like, 'You need to be nourished,' and I know what happens to me when I'm hungry. I'm a psycho, and I can't think right,
yeah,
and I was like, 'No, you are already extremely dysregulated, that will only get worse. You have to try to eat.' And because I did take those small bites, eventually that brought my appetite back. And about 3 days later, I was able to eat regularly again. But I I remember thinking that like, "Ooh, there's a time I would have been like, 'Yes, I'm not hungry. I'm gonna use that for all it's worth and just starve and starve and starve.'" Like those poor people. Have you ever heard anyone say this? I've had several friends who have gone through some form of cancer, usually breast cancer, and they go through chemo and they're so disappointed that it didn't make them lose weight. And they'll say things like, "I may be the only person who gained weight on chemo." I don't know if you've ever known anyone like that, but how devastating that you're going through a life-altering illness and still your weight is at the forefront of your mind.
it's the societal conditioning, isn't it? It's diet culture, and it is so sad. I think particularly as women, we are taught from so young that our bodies define us,
Mhm.
and it's not actually true. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in a very different body than I've been in for most of my life. And all the things that my brain told me, which a huge amount of them were picked up from diet culture, all
Mhm.
these things that I was scared that would happen when I gained weight, like the rejection, the hate, the not being able to be part of things, everybody hating me, not a single one came true.
Yeah.
And in actual fact, I am so much more connected to people because I'm able to be present and I'm nourished.
Yes. Yes. The food noise when you're starving yourself. I mean, I know you and the last time we talked, you you said some of that wasn't as hard for you because you are like biologically predisposed to
Mhm.
be anorexic.
You still get
Um,
food noise. You
you
don't
do.
it's not that you're necessarily wanting food, but I baked every single day. I spent hours baking. I cooked elaborate food all the time. I would throw dinner parties all the time. I needed to be around food, even though I didn't eat it. So the noise of food, the constant planning, the negotiating, the calculating, it's always there, regardless of what eating disorder you're in, or even if you're just on a diet,
Oh
the food
god.
noise is always there.
You know what you just made me think of is when I did keto, which was the worst thing I could have done for myself, but I did it and felt
I
so
did that
proud
one.
of myself. Um, I noticed that I had an impulse to buy mostly sugary foods because 'cause I'm, like, just as I love sweets so much. Um, and so I would still buy it and just, like, give it to my kids or give it to someone like, constantly buying food and giving it to someone else because I couldn't stop myself from buying
Yeah,
it. It hit some sorts of dopamine for me, but I
yeah.
was, like, not gonna eat it, so then I would just give it to somebody all the time, every day,
I used to hide chocolate in the back of my wardrobe
just in case.
just to have it there. And I used to like open packets of chocolate. I used to lock myself in the bathroom and open packets of chocolate and sniff it.
Oh my gosh. That is so real. Yeah. I am sure I've done something similar. I am sure I have because I'm all or nothing. So either I'm going to calorie restrict to a really unhealthy place or just eat whatever the hell I want all the time and probably go overboard. Like I have spent the last couple of years trying to just not care and just like eat when I want to eat. I've noticed lately that I do have a tendency to eat in an unhealthy manner in the evening if I went too long during the day without
Mhm.
eating. I'm still learning to listen to my hunger cues. I'm still even learning to feel those hunger cues. Like I spent a long time ignoring them, so it doesn't register very quickly to me. I kind of sometimes I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm in a bad mood. I forgot to eat today." And then as soon as I do, you know what your brain does when you've starved for too long. It's like, oh, food, 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 food. So I will have an evening where like nothing is enough. Thankfully, at this age, I can't do what I could do in my 20s where I could really go on a binge. And I mean, eat like crazy amounts of food and really hurt myself with that. Now I get full so much fat. I have too many digestive issues, probably just from years of not taking care of myself in that way. But I'll get full way too fast and I it's not worth it to me to feel like the misery that will come with that. So I cannot harm myself with food the way that I once could, but it's still like I know if I don't eat during the day, it's gonna be a long night because nothing's gonna really satisfy me. Like I'm just gonna keep wanting to eat.
Yeah, that's so common. Um, our bodies need a certain amount of food, and if they don't get it when they need it, they will ask for more. They will ask until they're satisfied. And I mean, the excessive hunger is a biological response to restriction.
Mhm.
So I tend to view eating as not just listening to hunger cues, but it's an act of self care. So if I'm focused on something, if I'm busy, I don't notice my hunger.
Mhm.
And I have now built into my schedule when I book things in my diary, I make sure that I book in a lunch break. I
Yeah.
make sure I have breakfast, whether I want it or not, I have it because
I was gonna
my
ask
body
you about that.
needs that regular food to feel safe. Just like I clean my teeth every morning and I clean my teeth before I go to bed. Now, do I want to clean my teeth? No, not especially. It's like I'll fall asleep on the sofa, I'll wake up, I'll stagger upstairs, and all I want to do is just get into bed. But no, I go into the bathroom and I clean my teeth. That's an act of self care. I do it
Yeah.
not because if I don't, I'm going to wake up with holes in all my teeth, because it would never happen that quickly. But it's just looking after this human body.
Yeah. So how did you start, like, with the breakfast thing specifically? Was it just a decision and you started just doing it? Because I really, more often than not, like yesterday I was pleased because not too long after I woke up, I was hungry and I was like, oh, good, because I'm hungry enough for me to notice this and eat before I start my day. Um, but I don't. That's part of my problem is not eating when I get up because I don't like the way I feel when I first wake up. And I'd probably feel better if I'd just go ahead and eat. But I guess I thought that was okay. Like if you're not feeling it, don't do it. No, not good.
Everybody's different, and you've got to do what feels right for you. Because of my history, I know I have to look after my body. And I know that even if I don't feel well and I've lost my appetite, I still need to eat. Now, I
Yeah.
might not be able to eat as much as I would normally eat, but I still need to eat. And breakfast is my way of reassuring my body after a night of no food that food is plentiful, that there is no famine. And I hated eating breakfast when I first started eating breakfast. To be honest, I still don't particularly enjoy eating breakfast, but I
Yeah.
do now get hunger signals for breakfast because my body is used to having it. And I definitely find that it's easier to get through the day.
Yes. Yes. That's what I want too, is like energy sources, you know, all of that. Like it's just so often that I'm just not feeling as good as I possibly could because there are way too many days where I didn't feel hungry for breakfast and then I got too busy and now I'm not eating until like 4:30. And that's not
Mhm.
good. That's not good. I don't feel great. I'm bitchy, I'm tired.
Yeah,
I noticed yesterday because I ate all 3 meals at good times, I didn't need a nap. And I was like, "Oh, there might be a correlation there."
definitely.
So then
It's
what do you
energy.
do for breakfast if you're not like, if you're just doing it because you know you need to, you just do a light breakfast or what?
Um, I tend to have this morning I had, yogurt and fruit and granola, or I love crumpets. I don't think you get crumpets out there. Um, I
Is it
love
a
crumpets.
pastry or
No, it's kind of like a bready product,
okay.
and you toast it, and I have it with
Mm.
butter and Marmite and peanut butter all together, and it's lovely, and so I quite often have a couple of crumpets for breakfast, and in that, I'm getting the fats, the carbohydrates, the protein. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I hit the things I know my body needs.
So you try for every meal to make it well-rounded.
I'll have whatever I want to have and then add things to it to make it well rounded.
I like that a lot. Yeah, like add a salad even if you're not like
Yeah,
with some avocado and bacon or something, even if
that's
your
not to
meal doesn't
say
have
Not to say I won't just have a pizza if I'm exhausted and I'm hungry and I don't wanna cook and I just put a pizza in the oven. Some days I will
Yeah,
just do that, and that's
yeah.
fine because I'm not perfect.
Mhm. But as a general rule,
As a general
you just
rule.
kinda, "Okay, I like that a lot. I like that a lot." That's pretty low pressure, I think. How does that work differently for you, though, with your tendency to want to not eat versus somebody like me or my son where we really we love food so much and we want to eat all the time. I mean, yes, I go through like daytime I can not eat whatever, but like he's even like a foodie. He can pull out like, "Oh, I taste some cinnamon in this," or "I taste what," like I just like food. You just give me some food, I'm good. He loves the experience, whatever. So, what do you think is different for somebody who doesn't care that much about food versus someone who does? Is there anything different in the way that you have to approach the self-care?
I don't think so, no. I think that if somebody, say, struggles with eating a lot in the evening, then they definitely would benefit from having breakfast, probably a snack, lunch, a snack, and then dinner. And they would probably find that after a few days of doing that, they weren't feeling so hungry in the evening.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, just having when you have like loads of people say, "Oh, I couldn't have that because if I had that, say a packet of crisps, chips to you, um, if I have a couple, then I'm just going to eat the whole bag." But if you let yourself have them whenever you want them, you don't never have that, "Oh, I want to eat all of it," because it's freely available.
Yeah.
It's when you say if it's when you label foods good and bad and make yourself morally wrong for eating certain foods. I mean, food is food,
Mhm.
it doesn't have any morals.
Right. Right.
So
Yes.
when I first started recovery, I ate so much chocolate, so many chips and fries and pastries and sweet things, and because that was all the stuff that I hadn't allowed myself to have. That was all the food that was scary to me, and I really wanted loads of it. But now because I allow myself to have anything I want whenever I want it, I I had 2 squares of chocolate last night, that was fine, that was enough. I didn't want any more.
Yeah.
Mm. I can't remember the last time I had chips, maybe a week or so ago,
Wow. I
and
love
it's not stuff I really want all the time, but it's there, I can go and get it, I can have it whenever I want it. But
Yeah.
because I don't give it any morals, and I don't restrict it in any way, if I wanted to go and eat a packet of Oreos, if I had some in my cupboard, I could go and eat the whole packet, and that would be totally okay. I wouldn't be morally wrong for doing it. But the likelihood is if I even liked Oreos, if I had some in the cupboard, I would probably only want like 2 or 3 or maybe 4, and that would feel like fine. I would be not wanting any more
Yeah.
because they're freely available all the time.
Yeah, I think my problem is because I was picturing myself grabbing cookies, and I have very specific memories attached to cookies as a child because we had a cookie jar, but my 98-pound grandmother just never she wanted you to enjoy the cookies, but not too much, like, and not because of anything other than, being overweight was the worst thing you could be in her eyes, pretty much,
Mhm.
and I remember binging on cookies as a 5-year-old because I would go to grab the 3 that felt natural to desire, and then not be able to walk away from the cookie jar because I was going to sneak these 3 into my bedroom 'cause I was off the kitchen, um, but then as I go to walk away from the cookie jar, I'm like, "Oh, but I'm gonna want more," and I'm shoving cookies in my mouth so that I still have the 3 in my hand for when I go to my room, and that is a practice that I have done my whole life. Even after I moved out, every time I think, "Oh, I'm just gonna go grab a few cookies," I start going crazy on the actual container because it feels like scarcity when I walk away with the amount that feels okay to grab, like, okay, and I've even tried to trick myself, like, "Oh, then grab 6." Like, grab whatever amount you want, like, you think you want, grab 7, and still, I will at least eat 1 or 2 at the, like, counter before I put them away and walk away. Like, cookies do this to me every time. So I'm just thinking that, I just need to this is not an area where I've applied the tools that I use in all the other parts of my life is with food, and I was, for the first time, really able to see just in this conversation, like, oh, I need to nurture myself through those interactions with food and be like, nothing's wrong with you for wanting these. They're gonna be right here. And if you have to
Yeah,
walk back 10 times to get the amount that you want, that's okay. You're
exactly that.
okay.
So you can take what you think you want, say that was the 3, and reassure yourself that if you want more, you can go and get more. There is no scarcity around it. And if the cookie jar is empty, you can go to the shop.
Yes, and I will.
Yeah. And the more you take away the scarcity and just allow it to be freely available, the less power it has over you.
Yes.
Because we give food
Yeah.
so much power, but
So
it's
much.
actually just food. It's like putting petrol in your car. It's just fuel, and it has no
Mhm.
morals. Lettuce is not morally superior to cookies.
Yeah.
It's just food, and your
I think
body
I
needs
ha
a
I
balance.
the shame around it now is that I know I'm at the very least in the pre-diabetic area. I haven't gone to get it checked in a while because I didn't like what was going on before, and so I really thought I'd get my shit together before, the next physical came around and that it'd be fine, and I haven't. So, like, there's this shame because it's like, well, you should be taking better care of yourself, like, you know better, you know? And so I just kind of versus dealing with any of the shame, I just kind of ignore this entire part of my life, like how I'm eating, any of that. I really have been avoiding it.
It's interesting because you gave yourself a judgment there of saying you should be
Mhm.
taking better care of yourself. What would that look like?
More movement and less sugar and eating on a more regular basis.
Okay, so how would that affect you if you did that?
Presumably, it would make my blood sugar better.
And are you struggling with your blood sugar now? Do you notice effects of it?
Not as much right now, honestly. Uh, which is more worrisome, to be honest. When I was for sure in the pre-diabetic range and was having a lot of fluctuations, I felt pretty awful. Um, no, I can't say I'm feeling any of the symptoms of it right now.
So, if you were given a human being to look after that was like a fully formed adult human being, but had just, like, I don't know, you were just given a fully formed adult human being that had no experience of being human, how would you nourish them? Would you wait till they started shouting at you, saying, I am so hungry now that I need everything?
No.
What would you do?
I would I would give it regular meal times.
Yeah. And what effect do you think the regular mealtimes would have on this human's blood sugar?
I think it would make it more stable.
Yeah. exactly that. So when your body knows that food is coming, like it's never going to be more than, say, 3 hours away, then you're not getting all these big dips in your blood sugar because you're regularly nourished
Yeah.
and your systems start to function much better because they know that the next lot of energy, the next lot of fuel is coming soon. And you don't
Yeah.
get the cravings for sweet things as much when you nourish regularly because you're giving your body the energy it needs regularly. The craving for sweets and carbohydrates is because your energy's dipping. And then your
Mm.
body's going, I either need you to rest and sleep, or I need you to give me something that's really quick release energy. And quick release energy is in your simple carbohydrates and your sweet foods. So that's why people crave that sort of stuff. It's because they're tired, their body needs energy, and their body wants the energy quickly.
I wonder if that's why I'm not feeling as wild of fluctuations is because I do sleep a lot more. I haven't been the last little bit, but I wonder if the sleeping more helped with that part because I definitely was feeling so tired,
Yeah.
which I just think was related to grief. But I wonder if the fact that I gave myself permission to rest so much is why I'm not feeling the wild blood sugar fluctuations because it was pretty gnarly for a little bit, like increased heart rate, the feelings of dehydration, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I just was not feeling well there for a little bit. But yeah, physically, I'm I'm just more tired, but I guess that's probably I mean, even before grieving, like, I was stressed too. Um, but yeah, I'm not feeling all the crazy, just more tired, so I'm wondering if that's why. But I think the programming I can eat more regularly. That is literally the easiest thing I can do. The reason I'm not is because there is something in me that says, if you're not going to eat healthy or you're just gonna eat all this shitty food, then you shouldn't even try in that all or nothing thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, if I'm not gonna eat 3 times, my regularly scheduled meals every few hours, whatever, and then be like sweet potatoes and refried like whatever, good carbs, whatever, like not sugary, then it feels like I'm not making any healthier of a choice than just eating whenever, which I know logically is not true. But I'm like some of the programming is getting like I can hear it now in this conversation, whereas I I'm sure that I was somewhat aware of it before, but again, I avoid anything related to food and health because I don't like I don't like confronting it. But I'm definitely recognizing like I know logically that's not true. Eating more regularly, period, is better than what I'm currently doing.
Mhm. It's interesting because it seems like there's shame around looking after yourself.
I mean, let me think about that. I think it's perfectionism. I think it's if you're not going to do this 100% perfect, there's no point in doing it at all.
So how do you get on being 100% perfect then? How's that working out for you?
Yeah, it's working great as you can see. As you can see, I'm doing a really good job at being perfect. Yeah, I guess I mean, and so the all or nothing mentality related to diet or anything related to eating has always been there. Like, cause that I was a really good dieter about once every 3 years. I would like completely lose it, like eat whatever the hell I want, binge all the things for about 3 years. And then I'd quote unquote get it together and hardcore restrict and lose all the weight and be miserable. And then that would last less than a year usually. Like I'd lose the weight and then sustain that for maybe 3 months, if that, and then slowly start gaining the weight back until it was a really fast process. So I definitely recognized it even before, but I don't know, other than what I said earlier about just like the same type of nurturing that I'm giving myself around everything else. I think that may be the missing link here is talking
Absolutely.
to myself, like, and really getting in tune with those versions of me that did that to myself because I hated my body because I was taught to.
And that's the key thing, right? You were taught to. Society taught you to, caregivers taught you to, and you just said yourself that you were amazing at dieting, you lost all the weight, and you were absolutely miserable.
Mhm.
And we live by this belief, society teaches us this belief that I'll be happy when I weigh this much. I'll be happy when
Mhm.
I've lost this weight, I fit into this size. But in your experience of life, every time you've done that, you've been miserable.
Mhm.
And realistically, when you were in a smaller body, were more people more wanting to be friends with you? Were you more powerful in what you did?
No, I mean, the only thing I can say in a semi-positive vein about whenever I was in a smaller body truly was that was kind of the only way I was able to validate myself. That was the only intrinsic validation I could get was, "Look, you stuck to a diet." Because
Mhm.
there was a lot of shame around that, about not being able to stick to a diet because that was part of the programming. And I would venture to say, and I'm hesitating because I know how this is gonna sound, but I actually lost friends probably, or at least the relationship gap became wider
Yeah,
because they didn't like the way me losing weight made them feel sometimes. So there was that.
absolutely.
And then also all of the insane amount of compliments that I would get was a double-edged sword because I would love the way it felt, but I would also go, "And what you're doing is confirming that you were judging me when I didn't look like this." And that was the first thing you noticed when I walked in the room was that I was bigger or whatever, you know? And so every time I'd start to gain the weight back, oh my God, the isolation became out of control. I wouldn't want to go anywhere because I was like, no, that's the first thing people are going to think about me when I walk in the room. It's like, she's gotten big, you know? And then anytime I'd lose it, that was confirmed to me because they're like, the first thing, you don't look like the same person. People who think that's a compliment, it's wild to me. I'm like, "Thank you. I
Yeah,
okay,
it's
thanks."
is never a compliment if you comment on how somebody else's body looks,
Mhm.
ever, because you have no idea what you're validating. You could be validating grief, you could be validating an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Um, I had somebody I knew who was talking to me and saying, "Oh, have you seen so and so? She looks amazing. She's lost over half her body weight." Um,
Mm.
she did lose a child, but it's a
Oh,
silver lining, isn't it? I'm like, "No.
no.
No, how can you even say that? That is horrific." And we don't
Yeah.
know what we're saying when we comment on somebody's body. If you want to compliment somebody, tell them something nice about them. Tell them that how you feel when you're with them.
Mhm.
I saw a lady, oh, she was like a ray of sunshine. She was wearing this just such a beautiful floral dress. She wasn't in a societal expectation perfect body, but she looked so happy and she was literally shining and her dress looked amazing. I did not know her, and I just said, "I hope you don't mind me saying, but you look so beautiful in that dress and you're just bringing joy to walking down the street, and she was so happy with
Oh,
that.
that's so sweet.
And if we tell people nice things about them, they're gonna feel good. You don't have to talk about people's bodies because you have
Exactly.
no idea the reason why they're in the size body they're in.
Yes, just like I remember I had a friend whose daughter has a seizure disorder, and when she was really young, one of the medications she was put on changed the way her brain received hunger cues, like, it never shut off,
Mhm.
and from then on, like, she put on a massive amount of weight, and from then on, it's that's just something that she's had to deal with, and I remember the shame that my friend felt all the time because she knows how she used to judge parents whose kids looked overweight, and she did receive some comments about it, but you have no idea why you're exactly right, why anybody's in the body that they're in, and I have made it a practice over the last at least 6 years, don't comment on people's bodies, period, and I've had friends kinda resistant to that because they're on their latest diet, and they
Yeah,
want me to
same.
say something so bad, and I won't, but having a daughter changed everything for me, like, no one's allowed to say the word fat in my house, like, we just don't talk about bodies in that way ever, and that's another thing friends have been resistant to. I won't let them talk about their diet in front of my daughter. Like, you cannot have this conversation about being unhappy with your body in front of my child. And you would be surprised how much resistance I have gotten around that.
Yeah, and good for you. You are obviously bringing your daughter up to be body positive, which is
I'm trying my
fantastic.
best. I'm trying my best. And that's the thing that will bring out, like, it's shown me so much of the way I was raised.
Mhm.
So much. Like, it I think that's maybe part of what I'm avoiding too, now that I'm talking about this, is addressing how painful it was to grow up with those experiences. I mean, like, if I just think about it, I think I've dealt with that stuff as part of all of the other healing that I've done, but really, I haven't done enough work around this because it was very painful, and I think because so many other things were, quote, unquote, "so much worse," I just assumed, like, this is an area I've addressed, but I think definitely not. I've definitely not addressed fully how painful it was to grow up with someone who was naturally fucking anorexic. I mean, truly, she was, and then she smoked so much and drank coffee all day and cared deeply, I think, about being this skinny person, and just couldn't understand a body like mine. Could not. And when I got stretch marks in middle school, the disgust on her face, I will never forget that. Like, it was awful. It was the most awful feeling, and I just, like, wanted to hide in shame, you know? Like, those were very painful experiences for me, and I think that's probably what I'm avoiding, and I need to nurture those versions of me and reassure them
Yeah.
the way I do around everything else, because I
Yeah.
do want to take care of my body. I do. I just keep lying to myself and saying, if you're not taking care of it in a certain way, then you're not taking care of it at all.
It sounds like perhaps you know how to take care of your body in a loving and compassionate way because it sounds like you do that for your daughter.
Mhm.
So you can do that for you. You already know how to do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it perfectly. Like I said earlier, yeah, some nights I just have pizza. I have no vegetables, no salad, no nothing. And that's okay because it doesn't have to be perfect. It's impossible to be perfect. Do you know anyone that's perfect?
No.
Yeah, it's impossible. And having compassion for yourself in the messy times as well as the times where things are going well. I mean, I don't work Sundays, and quite often if I've had a full week, on a Sunday afternoon, I'll sit down, I'll put a film on, and as soon as I sit down, I'm like, "I am so hungry." And I'll go and get biscuits and peanuts, and I'll sit down and I'll start eating them, and I could easily eat the whole packet, and sometimes I do, and that's totally okay. But actually, what I've noticed more and more is that I'm so hungry is actually I'm so tired. And this is the
Mhm.
first time I've sat down, and normally I'll eat some sweet foods or carbohydrates and then I fall asleep. And it's just my body saying, I need energy or sleep, one of the two.
Yes, I noticed this really the strongest I have in a very long time. Early last week, I didn't get near enough sleep. I had a fitful night's sleep, right? I woke up exhausted. When I went to have a snack, I was so tired that how, like, sometimes that signal gets crossed of, like,
Yes.
yeah, that happened, and I just kept eating to the point of, like, "Melissa, like, I do not feel well right now," and then I had to, like, sit around enough for that to digest and whatever, but I was like, "Oh my god, you have to go work right now, and you have eaten so much, like, how are you gonna, like, be not distracted by how terrible your tummy feels?" And it had been a long time since being tired that signal got crossed, and it was like, "No, I'm hungry." But I didn't realize that that's supposed to happen, that your body is saying, either or, you gotta do something."
Yeah. If your body needs energy because you're tired, you either have to give yourself food or you have to rest, or both.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I just thought, "Oh, this is another weird side effect of years of disordered eating." I really thought that. I did not know this was a natural thing for your brain to be like, "You gotta do one or the other." That actually makes me feel better, 'cause,
Good.
shit, if I don't need an excuse to take a nap, so if I can, I'm just gonna take a nap, you know, like,
Right.
and I should have that day. It was a weird day, and I would have, but there was, too much going on, but okay, and this actually helps me so much because when I can know something's biologically normal, it just removes stigma from my own thinking, you know?
Yeah. We get There's so much noise out there about
Mhm.
all the shoulds, all the judgments, all the things, but we don't need to do what society tells us we should do. We just need to do what's right for us, what feels good for us. If you're
Yeah.
somebody that wants to eat lots of vegetables and sushi and all those sorts of things, go for it. Enjoy it. If you're somebody that wants to have a burger and fries, go for it. Enjoy it. If you want to look after your body, add a bit of salad, but don't deny yourself the thing you wanted.
Yeah. See, this is where I got really messed up. Is for a minute after I unfollowed all the fitness folks and all the diet folks, I had a couple that I hung on to who were in the quote unquote intuitive eating space. Okay. They were still giving me rules though, and
It,
acting as if it was going to be biologically natural for me to intuitively want XYZ. And I'm like, well, I sometimes do, but I more want fried food and sugar, you know? And so I was like, what am I doing wrong that I can't, like, even do intuitive eating correctly? I mean, logically, that's not my thought, but I know subconsciously that's what I was like.
yeah.
I'm so bad at this. I can't even eat intuitively, you know?
Moralizing food, that's a huge,
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
that is
Yes.
a huge thing. And intuitive eating as a concept is great. Letting your body guide you is fantastic, but it can become full of rules and the hunger fullness diet. And
Yeah.
quite often, when we're hungry, when our stomach's like rumbling and we're really feeling hungry, that's our body actually shouting, like, "Why didn't
Yeah.
you give me food an hour ago?"
Yeah. Yes, and that's if I were going to, like, stick by the way my brain perceived intuitive eating instructions, I wasn't going to eat until I received the yelling.
Yeah, but why would you want to make your body have to scream and shout?
Exactly. Yes, and, like, you saying you eat breakfast whether you feel like eating breakfast or not is kind of revolutionary to me. It's not honest to God, it's not the first time I've ever heard it, but I'm hearing it in such a different way that it's kind of wild because I'm like, "Oh, it's okay to just, like, do it because that's what your body needs." But, like,
Yeah.
interpreting intuitive eating in the way that my subconscious did, it would never let me eat breakfast if I didn't feel like eating.
Mhm. I
That's
do it as an
wild
act of
to me.
self-care.
Yes, and I've never been taught that like, you do this because it's good for you, even if it's not, quote, unquote, "good foods." Eat something. Like, even if it's not the what your dietitian would be like, "This is the well-rounded whatever." Eat. Just eat because your body needs it.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm serious, like, it's not like I've never thought these things, but having the whole conversation and applying the other learning that I've had over this last couple of years, it really does reframe this entire conversation for me. It it's revolutionary, seriously, because I'm like, "Wow, I really can just, like, put each of these pieces together. No moral assignments on the food, whether it's gonna be good for my blood sugar or not. It's not gonna be good either way if I'm skipping a meal because I whatever, like,
Or if you're
I need
shaming
to eat."
yourself because you had the
Yes.
food, that's gonna make your body filled with stress hormones, which is actually gonna contribute far more to ill health than anything you put in your mouth.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and that's what I kind of want. I am genetically predisposed to type 2 diabetes through family stuff, and I had really bad gestational diabetes. So I know that taking care of my body in a certain way is and I am noticing some stuff, like some swelling in my left foot that happens far more than it used to. I'm noticing that, like, my body's not liking what I'm currently doing, but I think it's so much related to what I'm currently doing is not having scheduled meal times.
Mhm.
And I think if I can get past the perfectionist point and literally just eat at prescribed times, start there, and if it never changes from there, at least I know that I ate at the prescribed times. Even if I never ever get to a place where I'm willing to add the healthier stuff or whatever, at least that's one big change, eating at prescribed times,
It's
and that I can feel fine about that.
it's making your body feel safe.
Yes.
We were given
Yes,
one
this is
job
the
when we were
thing.
born, is to look
Yeah.
after our human.
Yeah. 'Cause that I've never gotten past the scarcity mindset with food, ever. I can feel that in my body while I say that, in a
Mhm.
way that I've not ever felt that connection before. So, I can definitely feel, okay, if I things will change very positively if I start eating at regular times. I can feel that. So, I feel really good about that, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm really
Man, this
pleased.
has been beautiful. I appreciate you so much, like, legitimately. Tell us again where we can find you, and audience, in case I forget to say this, I will make sure I link our previous episode together too. That'll also be in the show notes. So if you didn't catch the first time Julia was on, that will be in the show notes. So will all the links, but just tell us, out loud.
So, it's at Julia Trehane on Instagram. Fly to Freedom is my podcast, and my website is juliatrehane.com. So, yeah, come and
Yes,
find
and
me.
you're gonna wanna follow her on Instagram because her videos really are a warm hug, like, every time. Every time you pop up, I'm so excited to see you. I'm like, "What's Julia talking about?" You have just the most calming voice, so I love it.
If you want videos, come and join me on YouTube, which is Fly to Freedom again, because I'm starting to put a lot more videos on YouTube about how my life is opening up now I'm completely free, and I'm actually going traveling for 9 months. So we're gonna be documenting a lot of that, and so there'll be lots of
Oh,
videos on there coming up.
how exciting. Oh my gosh, yeah. Flight of Freedom. Okay, well, if I'm not subscribed, then I will make sure I do that.
Amazing.
And again, all that will be in the show notes. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm pressing stop. Hang out 1 sec.
Thanks for coming to Emotionally Unavailable. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share. Emotionally Unavailable.